Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of So Tell Us Time. We're super excited to be here with you. As always, it's a great week because look, if you're on YouTube, you see that Troy is back. Yes, for all of our longtime listeners, Troy is back. And we love it when Troy's around because he just makes everything make sense. So today we've got a great episode for you. We're talking about know your value. And this is a big profit killer in a lot of businesses, is not having the right pricing put together, and having like plans and packages. And then also knowing what to do when like things come outside of those packages or plans, or having your employees know what to do, because having great customer service, like we always say, is king. That is amazing. That's what we strive for. We want amazing customer service. In fact, we say we are a customer service company first that happens to dabble in all of the other things that we do. And so it's really important. However, you can be going above and beyond and giving great customer service and yet still losing money and slowly going out of business. So that is what we're talking about today. Know your value. All right, Troy, jump in. Let's do this.
Yeah. So kind of what prompted this topic for today was we had one of our employees who was working with a new client, and they are a residential cleaning business, and they bought a package with some automation and communication and lead management. And they kind of bought a pre-built package for residential cleaners. And as soon as they got on their first call with their success coach, immediately they were like, well, hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to create all of these custom campaigns. I want to have set up in a phone system to where, it gives certain messages during hours, different messages, outside of hours. And it got very complex very quickly. And, and of course, their success coach was like, hey, look, we're going to do everything that we can for you. We can definitely build those things for you, those customizations. I'll get you a quote on what it's going to cost. And they were like, wait, what? Like, I'm going to have to pay extra money for this? And they were like, no, I don't want to pay anything extra. I just want this done, basically.
And the funny thing was, I was like, it's very simple. Just turn the ship on them. I hire you to come in, clean my house. You give me pricing. You tell me what's going to happen. Right. And then when you show up, I'm like, hey, now I want you to do windows, and I want you to do, clean the ducts. And now I want you to do all this stuff. And you're like, oh, well, we can do that, but it's just going to cost more. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? Can't you just do that for free? And the answer would be no, they would never do that for free. Right?
Absolutely. And that's the key. We all want to have happy customers. We all want to give great customer service, but we need to make sure that we don't give up all of the profits in our company, doing extra things for our customers, going above and beyond for them, and actually losing our profits and then going out of business because we provided, that additional value at no cost. And again, as business owners, that's on us, that we need to be able to look at our services, and we need to be able to create, like Trevor said, pricing and packages for everything. So it's a very simple thing of, oh, you want the windows done? Excellent. This is what it's going to cost, right?
Yes. And your employees can already know this, and could even quote it and give the upsell, right? So, and in fact, I'm going to throw in one other thing. This is a tip before we're even getting started in the whole thing, but you could actually have your employees be like, oh, hey, by the way, while we're here, I see that your windows are really dirty. And actually, just for this extra small fee, we can get those windows taken care of for you today. And maybe you even pay a commission to that employee or to the team, right? You pay a little extra to the team because they were able to upsell. So that's a tip right before, hey, we haven't even gotten into the meat and potatoes yet.
Exactly. All right. So let's talk about kind of the pros and cons. So if you just, go above and beyond all the time, you do whatever the client asks for, regardless of what they're paying, the pro to that is the client's going to be happy, right? They're going to be very happy because they're getting more than what they expected or what they paid for. So that is the one pro to this. Now, there are several cons that we want to talk about. First, you have created an expectation of free. And especially if you're in a business where you have your recurring work that you do with clients, when you create that expectation of free, it's going to be very difficult to ever break that again, right? To break that habit, because every time you come and do service for that client, they're going to try and push for something else done, for free. And then and when you finally do say, well, no, I can't do that, then they're gonna be like, well, but you've always done that for me. You've always, given me extra,
Why does your service suck now?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really funny when you think about it, the psychology of it. So it's and we've had this happen with us as well. It's like, I've given you so much for free. And then the minute they don't get it, then they're mad. Like you've done a disservice to them, because it's like, well, wait a minute, you've given me all these things for free and now you want to charge me. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. I gave you all of these things for free. You should be so happy with me, that I haven't charged you in the past. Now you're mad at me. But anyway, so you don't want to create that expectation of free because it's very hard to break after you do. The next thing is your profits can quickly disappear with each one of these requests, right? So it can very quickly happen where all of a sudden you're going, wait a minute, I'm not making any money on this job or on this client. It was actually with this one client that we were talking about. When we talked to the success coach, we're like, how many training calls have you done with this person just in the last week? Oh, well, I've done 3 hours, 3 different training calls, an hour a piece. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't think we're going to make any money on this client this month.
Not this month, that's for sure.
So, again, by going above and beyond, and we're not saying you don't ever go above and beyond, right? You can always do great little things for your clients, but the things that are costing you money, you need to make sure that you don't let those things eat up your profits. And then the other thing is your team, you and your team will eventually get burned out by that client, right? Because if you feel like, and your employees feel like they're constantly being taken advantage of, for, every single time they do something for that client, pretty soon they're going to be burned out. They're not going to want to take care of that client anymore. So you're going to end up in a bad relationship regardless because of that burnout, over time. So those are some of the cons that you really have to watch out for. So now let's talk about the reality of a needy customer.
And I want to point out, there were multiple cons to this, by the way, and there was like one pro. So just like there's a little unbalance there.
Absolutely. And that's the point, right? Is that, it really is a one-sided relationship. And that really leads into like the reality of the needy customer, because the needy customer is a one-sided relationship. That needy customer is getting all of the benefit, and usually you and your business are not getting any of the benefit from it.
And it's like that old saying, right? Like 10% of my clients take up 90% of my time. And if you have that type of business, you need to shift it, right? You need to shift that scale. Hey, back to the scales. You need to shift that, right? And we actually did a podcast years ago, actually, on exactly that, not being afraid to fire a client. So anyways, I digress.
Exactly. So, we've been in business for over 25 years now. We've literally serviced hundreds of thousands of clients in that time period. And we have found that the clients that are the neediest and don't want to pay will never be profitable for you. They will never be loyal to you. We thought back in the day, like, oh, well, if we keep doing these things for them, they're going to be loyal. They're going to stick with us forever. No, the minute they've got, someone else who will do something more for them, they drop you. And they're never happy, right? They're never happy because they are always asking for more than what than what you have agreed to give them. And so,
Troy, I actually have an example of this that happened to us recently, right? We were talking with a new customer coming on, and that we were going all over all the services and the pricing, and they were kind of creating, because how we do it is we're a la carte. We work within people's budgets is what we try, right? As long as their budget is not zero, all right, or hardly anything, their last $500, we try to work within people's budgets. And we went kind of let them create the package. And then they were like, well, it's a little expensive. I mean, I've been burnt in the past. I'm a little hesitant. All excuses and things that don't have anything to do with us, right? But this is what they're saying. And they said, so, is there any additional discounts that you can give me? Is there any more money you can take off? And I was like, well, no, because as you see, and as you know, you've gone out to our competitors and such, we're already the best price around, but also best bang for buck. And you were referred to us by clients, by the way. So we're best bang for buck, and we're best price around. We do not gouge. So no, absolutely not. The only thing, if I were to give you any better price, I would have to literally not be able to service you as well. And so that's not the solution you want. Do you want service, or do you want the best price, or a better, actually I should say better price, right? And then in all reality, it's always good for people to understand, because I think that people forget they're consumers as well. And they're also, and like we're talking to business owners, you guys might forget this from time to time too. You're business owners. So I just flipped it on them. I just said, hey, if I were to come into your facility and I were to say, I want this, and this, what's the price on that? Oh, it's that price. Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Well, we're already going to give you this discount and this discount. You were also referred, so we're going to give you this. Oh, that's still a little pricey. I've been burnt in the past by other facilities, not you, but other facilities. So because I've been burnt and because it's a little pricey, can you give me, I know you've already given me additional, but can you give me even more? Can you do something better? Take more off. What would you say? And they just kind of looked at me and they were like, well, I'd say no. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, then I think we know, right? And they were like, okay, yeah. They weren't bothered by it, but I think we just forget sometimes that, we're all business owners here.
Exactly. All right. So what are the solutions for this? How do you not get into these situations with customers? So the first one is, like Trevor talked about, set your services and your pricing and put it in stone, right? This is our services. This is our pricing. Have pricing for everything, right? This is what it's going to cost for that. And that way there's never a question of like, oh, what would you charge me for this? Or, oh, couldn't you do that? Absolutely, we can do that. It's just going to be $50 extra. Oh, okay, right? So, and then stick to your pricing. That's the other thing too, making sure that you actually stick to the pricing, because again, if you waver on that pricing, if you discount that pricing, then they're going to expect that every single time, and again, we're talking about those needy customers. This is not every customer, right? But it's those ones that are going to push the envelope and try to get as much from you.
And you guys already know these customers. You already know them. You know exactly who we're talking about.
Yep, exactly. So you want to always set an expectation up front that extras cost extra.
Yep.
Right? That's really important. Like, absolutely, this is what I'm going to do for you today. We do have some extras. Here's the pricing on those, and you just let me know if you want to pay that. And then the other thing you can also do is, let's say you have, in your industry, that when you come into a house, like say, let's take a residential cleaner. Let's say, that the majority of the houses that you clean while your team is there, they get asked, hey, while you're here, can you just, clean my fridge real quick? If that's the case, if you get the same request over and over and over again, then what you do is just build those extra services into packages. So that way it's right up front. It's like, hey, look, we're going to come in, we're going to clean your house, and we're going to clean your kitchen, or your kitchen and your refrigerator. We have a package that includes that. Would you like that package? Oh, no, I don't want that package. I don't want my refrigerator cleaned. Okay, great. Then we'll put you on this package here. Now they're not going to, when your team walks in the door, they are not going to ask them to clean the refrigerator, because they know there's a package that they already turned down that included that. So, building those extra services, one, that gives you additional packages that you can sell. Two, it gives you additional revenue that you can make if people are wanting that service, right? Just raise the price, include it in there. And then the other thing, your other solution is, and Trevor kind of talked about it too, get rid of the clients that are needy.
Fire 'em.
Yeah, just fire those clients, because if they are both needy and cheap, then you're never going to be happy with that relationship, right?
Yeah.
And they're never going to be happy with the relationship, because no matter how cheap you do it, they're always going to want cheaper.
Yeah.
So
we actually had a client, and that's the thing is, by the way, that last one, I understand, especially if you're in the beginning of your business, you want any and every job possible. You want all the money, you need it, right? But like when you've been around as long as we have, you will learn and continue to learn, is what I was going to say. You're going to continue to learn. We're still even getting better at it 25 years later, getting rid of those customers that are going to take up 99% of our time, but, pay 1% of what it is, And so it's really important to do that. We had a client that would call up and just, complain and yell and scream at the employees and this, that, and just complain all the time. And it was just like clockwork. And I thought, this is so weird. And finally I said, listen, next time he calls, you just transfer him to me. They transferred him over, and he was like, oh, hi, Trevor. Hey, how you doing? Tone changed, everything calmed down. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? You've been with us for years, and you call in, and I feel like it's clockwork, like every 6 months. What is going on? And he's like, well, actually, yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. About every 6 months, I just call all the subscriptions I have. I call all the services I have, my cell phone company, my office phone company, all my bills. I call and I complain. I fuss, I complain, and they give me discounts for services moving forward. They'll say, okay, for the next 6 months, we're going to discount you to this. And I just said to him, listen, we don't do business like that. That's not how we are or who we are. I would never do that to another company. I'm a business owner. You're a business owner. I don't think that that's ethical. Like, are you wanting people to do that to you? And he was like, well, no. And I said, great. And have we ever discounted it just because you called up and fussed? No. All you do is you make us go over all the things with you and do all the stuff. And then we go round and round, and, you move on. I'm not doing business like that anymore. I think it's time for us to sever ways. And he was like, oh, no. Oh, no, please. No, I won't. I will never call you guys again and do that. I promise. I will remove you from my list of people that I call every day. And I was like blown away. And so and I will tell you this, I have had more people fight to stay with me when I'm trying to fire them. Clients, when I'm trying to let them go, because you want to know what the truth is? They know they're hard. They have been through probably 10 of your companies before. So don't be afraid to know your value. Don't be afraid to hold firm. I love everything that Troy put in today's outline, because it's so true. It will make your business better. Having these things up front, talking about having all your pricing up front, letting people know there's additional charges for additional services. But if they would like to know about any of those, you will be happy to give it to them right now. There's no bait and switch going on here. So guys, this is gold. Okay. And I don't care how many years you've been in business, how big you are, how small you are. In fact, the bigger you are, probably the worse you are at this. Your company, your employees are probably bad at this. So it's really time to reevaluate. And that's going to jump us right into the homework. Put a plan together this week to ensure that you have all of your services and pricing laid out perfectly. The variations, the individual things that people might say, well, I want this and I want that. Make sure you have it written up and all the employees know what those are. So that, guess what? When you call in, they're not going, oh, let me get you over to somebody that knows, let them all have that information, right? And then look at your client base and determine, is it time to fire a client? Is it time for them to move on and become somebody else's problem? All right, guys, that's the episode today. We love you. We appreciate you. We will see you guys on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.